on Facebook. That's fabulous. So welcome everyone. Lovely to introduce my gorgeous friend Karen Knott, who is a brilliant coach. And today I thought we'd do something a little bit different and talk about our purpose and how that can really boost our self-care as well, and our self-esteem and all those sort of things. Really, I'm just going to hand over to Karen, and obviously I will interject at certain points. But Karen, if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself and you know, how that kind of fits into our self-care, really.
Okay, well, thanks so much for inviting me, Gail. I was so pleased when you asked, because you know, I guess sort of like purpose is probably a less obvious contributor to our well-being. But, you know, as we know, well-being encompasses so much more than just sort of our physical well-being, doesn't it? So purpose is one of the sort of four main pillars of my business. I help women by using a process called Plan P, and that is their passion, their purpose, what we're going to be talking about today, their potential, and their prosperity. And out of those four, actually, when I was thinking about it, I think that purpose is probably like the trickiest one to perhaps pin down. I know I did a bit of sort of research. I typed into Google, how do I find my purpose in life? And guess how many results it came back with?
Oh, I can't imagine.
Well, put it this way, it was such a big number that I actually had to Google what that number was in words.
It was over 1 million then.
So it was over 1.5 billion responses to that question, which I guess sort of indicates that, you know, there's a lot of people asking the question out there. And the other side of that is that I guess, you know, not having a sense of purpose leaves people, you know, feeling a bit sort of aimless, a bit unfulfilled, a bit disconnected, a bit lost. I don't know. I mean, I've certainly felt like that before in the past. I think I refer to that as my wilderness years. When I sort of left teaching, this is way back in the day, but I didn't really know where to, you know, what else to do. And, you know, looking back on it, I know that it was a desperate sort of way of trying to sort of piece together the bits which made up my purpose. But, you know, it's like, you know, we get to a point where we sort of think, you know, is this it?
Yeah.
You know, is this what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life? Is this what I want to be doing for the rest of my life? You know, I want to make a difference in some way, but how? Yeah. Doing what, you know?
So how does that kind of manifest itself? I know you can't kind of go into detail with individual clients, but you know, what sort of things and topics and process did you go to kind of explore this, to flesh it out almost?
Oof, well, I've got a framework that I use. Have you heard of something called Ikigai?
Oh, no.
Ikigai is an age-old Japanese process, which I think the word Ikigai.
How do you spell that? Go on, I've got to
it is Ikigai.
Ikigai.
Yeah, and it's pronounced, I believe, Ikigai. Not that my Japanese is up to much. It roughly translates as a reason for being, or if you like, the motivation to get up in the morning. That's it. So it's you know, basically it's what we know as purpose. And when I came across this, it was like, it really sort of, it fits with my whole Plan P bit as well. But yeah, Ikigai, if you can imagine, I can show you actually, 4 intersecting circles. Here we are, something here. So it's one of the circles is what we love doing. The other one is what we're good at doing. The third one,
oh yeah, yeah.
See that, yeah. So the third one is what the world needs. And the fourth one is what we can get paid to do.
That's always handy.
And so right at the very sort of intersection where those four things intersect is your Ikigai.
So that's your purpose in that.
So that is your purpose. So, you know, it's a framework, if you like. It's nothing more than a framework, but it's a really useful framework to be able to sort of hang, you know, the whole thing about purpose can often feel a bit sort of overwhelming, and it's a bit sort of theatrical to sort of say, you know, I can't find my purpose in life. What is it? But having something sort of very concrete like that is a great way to just to try and get some clarity on these things.
So does it tend to be kind of business orientated, or is it a life purpose, or can it be a mixture of both, or how does it kind of work?
Yeah, I think actually, you know, our purpose is actually unique to each of us. You know, for some people, their sense of purpose is tied up with things like contribution, making a difference, leaving a legacy, those sorts of things. And you know, the women I work with, who are specifically women in their 50s and 60s, by the time we get to that sort of age, those sorts of questions come sort of center stage, if you like. And it's when we start to sort of say, you know, is what I'm doing now actually what I want to be doing going forward? It's a sort of
it's a great time for kind of shift and change, isn't it? And I know that I've got a lot of clients in that age range as well, because, you know, the menopausal years or whatever we're going through or gone beyond, then you call it, what's that menopausal phrase you use of the power we have post-menopause?
A post-menopausal zest.
That's the one, yeah.
Zeal. Or zing.
Zing, zesty, or whatever. Because I think that is really kind of key. And it's something that we do have as an innate female power, that beyond when whatever your menopause is like, then you do have a little bit more of that zest and zeal. But also, I think that is when the purpose comes out, as you say, because it is, well, you know, what am I going to do with these years that I've got left? Because it could be another 30 years easily.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so what am I going to do to make that time worthwhile and have an impact on other people? So what will be my purpose?
Yeah, and I think, you know, that sort of yearning, if you like, for purpose and for something different is a really powerful feeling. And it can also be a real catalyst for you to actually, right, I'm going to do something about this. Because as you say, you know, you've got another X number of decades ahead of you with this extra energy as well. It's like, you know, why wouldn't I want to use it to my advantage and to other people's advantage as well? So
absolutely.
So, you know, it's a time which leads a lot of people to become seekers, if you like, you know, to go off on a journey of discovery. You know, that's what I help a lot of my clients with, because you can probably guess, you know, Googling that isn't a particularly effective strategy.
I was going to say, I wonder what results came back from, I need to find my purpose. Oh, Google will tell me. How am I going to do that? I think you probably need a little bit more guidance and support with that, even if it's just going through the Ikigai framework, which is, you know, such a great place to start. I can see
exactly that. Because I think, you know, the one key thing that I would say to anybody who's sort of embarking on this sort of discovery is, you know, the whole thing is that, you know, your purpose isn't out there somewhere, it's in here.
Oh, true, yeah.
And you know, I think that's a really positive thing, because it's not a question of going out there and finding it. It's about uncovering it, if you like, you know, rather than discovering.
Digging deep to find out where it is and what it is that might be causing unease. I don't know, you know, if you haven't found it or you haven't discovered what it is or what you want to do, then there's going to be that kind of like, oh, there's kind of disconnect here. What are we looking for?
Yeah, and so it's about sort of, you know, I always say to use that, you know, what is my purpose, as an invitation, if you like, as an invitation to start that exploration. You know,
that's a really lovely way of
yeah, and it sort of takes the pressure off you to oh God, I've got to find my purpose. You know, I'm going to Sainsbury's and buy a purpose off the shelf, sort of thing. You know,
so easy, yeah. I need to find my purpose today. How am I going to do it? What can I do? Give me the quick steps to get there.
Yeah. You know, so it is about sort of digging deep in the right places and using something like that Ikigai framework. At least it starts you off. You know, it gives you the areas to start exploring, if you like, and start reflecting on. And then once you've done that, then of course it's about sort of standing back and getting that sort of a bit of a bird's eye view of it all and sort of think, right, so, you know, where do things sort of interweave, you know? How are things connected? It's like, you know, joining the dots, if you like, and then, you know,
and then you kind of got to get yourself a roadmap if that's what you need to get to where you want to be and give you some clarity, really. It's a lot of it's clarity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the thing is as well is that our Ikigai, I quite like saying that, our Ikigai is something, it's not a static entity, you know, it changes as and evolves. So it's worth, I think, sort of checking in and just doing these basic sort of things about, you know, is what I'm doing now what I really want to be doing? Because once you've found your Ikigai, found your purpose, that's a real sort of compass that you can rely on, you know, and it can help you make decisions about, well, do I want to do that? No, I don't. That's not part of what I want, you know.
Yeah. So is it similar to what's it called? Find Your Why? Was it Simon Sinek? Is that the one, the book? Is it similar to that, or would you say it's different?
It's different. I mean, this is really quite specific, but there are all these things all come back to this central tenet, which is, you know, you right at the heart of everything, and knowing what it is inside you to, you know, dictate the path you want to take, really. It's, you know, they do all come back to that. It's a very powerful place to operate from. As I'm, you know, as I'm sure you know, because you seem to me to be someone who's operating from, you know, their Ikigai.
Thank you very much. I'm not sure I always feel it, but thank you for that. So if anyone's got any questions, I can see a couple of people with us live. So if you've got any questions, please pop. I'm checking down on my phone. So if anyone's got any questions or anything they'd like to ask Karen, then please pop them in there as we're going through this. So anything else that can kind of help us? I mean, apart from obviously seeing you, but is there anything else that can kind of, we could be thinking of or kind of considering or doing that helps guide in any way?
Well, one of the, I think one of the best things and simplest things that anyone can do is to start journaling.
Right.
Because this is a sort of, this is an inward exploration. And, you know, I always find journaling is a really good way to sort of get the stuff that's in here and in here out onto paper, where you can actually, you know, look at it and maybe do something with it rather than it all just sort of scrunching around in your head. But yeah, it's a, you know, I've got a, if anybody is interested in sort of using that Ikigai framework, I'll pop something in the comments underneath, because I've got a freebie.
Oh yeah.
Which is, and it's questions basically. It's questions to sort of get your creative juices flowing a bit. You know, it's questions like, you know, what are the things that you really like doing in your freedom? You know, what would you choose to do with your time? And perhaps, you know, one of the most important questions is, you know, what are the major challenges and obstacles that you've overcome in your life? Now that is really fertile ground to explore, because I would say most of my clients who then go on to set up businesses, the catalyst has come from answering that question. I'd say almost exclusively.
So what they've overcome, or what they've...
Yes, there's been a challenge in their life. I'm thinking of things like infertility. I'm thinking of things like childlessness. I'm thinking of having children with eating disorders. You know, those sorts of things, which have been a really challenging time in their particular life. But they have now gone on to sort of think, I can really help people coming along now. And so they've decided to, you know, that becomes their purpose.
Yeah, and it's very similar actually with some of my consultant people who train with me. They have overcome challenges, or they use their experience to then guide people with their wardrobes, because they've overcome, whether it's you know, having cancer, or that they are very tall or very petite, or they've had issues buying and wearing clothes themselves. They've had 3 children in 5 years and their wardrobe doesn't look anything like them anymore. You know, all that kind of stuff has given them a purpose to be able to help other people in a very similar situation to them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I sort of call it like, you know, the ripple effect, if you like, because you know, when you find your purpose, it causes a transformation in your own life. But then you can also use that purpose to create transformations in other people's lives. And so that's what I mean by the, you know, the ripple effect. So it goes on. So it's you know, it's a fantastic thing to be part of, if you like. And I don't know about you, but I also find that people who have a strong sense of purpose, they have like this, there's like an energy about them, you know. It's like, it's a very attractive energy to be around. You sort of, you feel it almost. And, you know, when I think about all the people I know who've got that, I think one of the key elements is contribution in some way. You know, that's a strong, and making a difference. That comes through. You know, well, like you know, you're doing this, you know, this free series for this month because it's all part of your passion and purpose. The whole well-being thing is much more than, you know, your style advice encompasses, is much more holistic, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's not just, you know, wear this, wear that. It's about what drives me is knowing more about the person and making sure that the clothes that I advise for them will work for them and their lifestyle. It's not just that it suits their colouring and their body shape, because that's easy, but actually it's about melding all those different physical attributes into their lifestyle, and what they need is what makes me, it's what I love about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I had a really lovely quote from a client yesterday, actually, and she just wrote in her email, "You've nailed it, you've got me." And that was just like, that's just gold dust for me, you know, really perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, your business and my business, they're both like vehicles for our passion and our purpose, aren't they?
I love that. That's really good, yeah.
You know, our businesses aren't our purpose, but they are. It's a way in which we get to express, you know, our purpose. But it doesn't have to be. You know, you can express your purpose in so many different ways. You know, you can. It may be you can be a teacher, or in a creative way, or by making things, or by, you know, being an advocate for some cause, or you know, lots of different ways, lots of different vehicles for your purpose. So
absolutely. No, and again, you know, other consultants have done a lot with sustainability, or they've worked with Beat, the you know, the anorexic charity, and those sort of things. So, you know, and I work with Dress for Success. So there's different ways that you can work with different organisations to help and to give that contribution back, and to use your knowledge and your skills and your enthusiasm for them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I was sort of finding your purpose is, oh God, I hate to use the J word, you know, but it is a bit of a journey. I've gone all X Factor. But, you know, like all good journeys, it's not just about, you know, it's not just about getting there. Sorry, it's not just about the destination. It is sort of, you know, getting there as well. The actual journey to get you there is just as important. It is.
It's the process, isn't it?
It is definitely a process. Yeah, definitely a process.
Yeah, fantastic. So has anyone else got any questions? I've got a few people on watching live, but I can't see who they are, unfortunately, but thank you for joining us. But anything else you'd like to sort of say or think, you know, going back to the journaling, you know, if no one's journaled before, what sort of things, how does it work? What sort of things would you put into doing in a journaling session? Well, not to make it too formalized, I know that. You know.
Yeah, you know, again, there are different sort of journaling formats, if you like. You know, one of the ones that I love doing is the morning pages.
Right.
If I don't know if people know Julia Cameron as part of the Artist Way, advocates writing these morning pages religiously every morning, 4 pages of A4 freehand, as a way of sort of accessing the sort of the innermost thought. All I can say is it works. I've done it many, many times over my life. I just think, right, it's time to do a bit of morning pages now. And you sort of, you start off, there is no, you know, no format to it, you just write. So you may well start off by writing, you know, sort of, I don't know what I'm supposed to be writing here today. I've got lots to do. Oh my God, look at those curtains. And, you know, that sort of stuff. But you've just got to keep going, and you will get to the little gems. By the end of your 4 pages, something will have emerged.
So is it almost like the written version of the ideas that pop into your head in the shower, but you've got the pen and paper there, and it kind of just, it almost drags it out of you?
Yes, yes. Because, you know, going back to what I was saying earlier, it's already there. All this, you know, your purpose is already in there somewhere. So it is a question of finding ways to get it out and get it in front of you so that you can see things from a different perspective, basically. You know, it's almost like you give yourself a bit of a bird's eye view of what's going on, and then you can sort of say, oh my God, you know, I love doing that. And then, you know, I really love doing that and that and that and that. And it's something like suddenly things start to come into focus. You know, I'm not saying it happens like that or overnight, it takes time, but, you know, you've got to start shaping it somehow, haven't you?
Well, I think it's a great place to start, and it's a very simple place to start, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just write whatever's in your head and see what comes out.
See what comes out. And like I say, if anybody's, you know, interested, you know, please, you know, have a look at the my workbook, because at least it will get you started, you know, and it will show you the types of questions that you can start thinking about and creating your Ikigai.
We're all going to be talking Ikigai. I was thinking it was some sick bloke or something, but that's been fantastic. Thanks ever so much. Sorry, my voice is going now. Thanks ever so much, Karen, for today. And it's been so good to kind of just dig a little bit deeper into you know, something that's, as you say, is within us. And it is ultimate self-care, isn't it? To know that you are doing something that is so perfect for you, whether that is a business, whether that is a passion, whether that is a hobby or whatever it might be, or contribution that you want to make, then knowing that you have that within you is so powerful. Amazing.
Yeah. I'm so pleased you said that it's the ultimate self-care, because, you know, I was thinking I would have to put up a case for purpose being part of this series, but yeah, I think you're right. It is the ultimate self-care.
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks ever so much. It's been great to chat.
That's been lovely. Thanks for asking me,
Time just about up. So as I say, everyone, hope you have a lovely weekend.